Oh my God.
That looks like a second plane. This looks like it is some sort of a concerted effort to attack the World Trade Center that is underway.
That's 30 some odd floors.
We are totally powerless in knowing what's going on here.
Washington has to take the position that they're under some form of attack.
Looked like a commuter plane crashed right into the Pentagon.
What started in New York is now happening in Washington.
The FAA has ordered all aircraft currently in the air over the United States to land at the nearest airport.
I'm on 93 and it's been hijacked by terrorists. They have a bomb. Mostly I just wanted to say I love you.
Mark, this is your mom. If you can, group some people and try to take over the aircraft.
I just saw the smoke come up and the explosion shook the house clear over here.
They say the fire is also spreading downward now through the tower.
You can see the firemen assembled here, the police officers, FBI agents, and you can see the two towers. A huge explosion now raining debris on all of us. We better get out of the way.
The second building that was hit by the plane has just completely collapsed.
On that day, a quarter century ago, 2,977 human souls were lost. None of us will ever forget where we were when we heard the news and saw what was happening. Perhaps we were already watching TV, or perhaps it was a call we got from a friend or a loved one. Are you seeing this? I can't believe it. Oh my God. All those people. Over the next few hours, our disbelief turned into shock, then tears, then anger. And then, over 300 million Americans joined together, united by our collective need to do something, anything, to help. What could I do? What could any of us do? Some rushed to donate blood. Others went to pray. And in those hours, what was forged in our national spirit was this: our enduring promise to those we lost to never forget. 25 years ago, a country music legend wrote a song that helped Americans find meaning and solidarity in troubled times. With his Nashville performance of Where Were You When the World Stopped Turning, here is Alan Jackson.
Where were you when the world stopped turning on that September day? You in the yard with your wife and children working on some stage in LA? Did you stand there in shock at the sight of that black smoke rising against that blue sky? Did you shout out in anger and fear for your neighbor? Or did you just sit down and cry? Did you weep for the children that lost their dear loved ones? Pray for the ones who don't know? Did you rejoice for the people who walk from the rubble, sob for the ones left below? Did you burst out with pride for the red, white, and blue, the heroes who died just doing what they do? Did you look up to heaven for some kind of answer? Look at yourself and what really matters. I'm just a singer of simple songs. I'm not a real political man. I watch CNN, but I'm not sure I can tell you the difference in Iraq and Iran. But I know Jesus and I talk to God, and I remember this from when I was young. Faith, hope, and love are some good things He gave us. The greatest is love. Where were you when the world stopped turning on that September day? Teaching a class full of innocent children, driving down some cold interstate. Did you feel guilty because you're a survivor? In a crowded room, did you feel alone? Did you call up your mother and tell her you loved her? Did you dust off that Bible at home? Did you open your eyes, hope it never happened, close your eyes and not go to sleep? Did you notice the sunset the first time in ages, speak to some stranger on the street? Did you lay down at night and think of tomorrow, go out and buy you a gun? Did you turn off that violent old movie you're watching, turn on I Love Lucy reruns? Did you go to a church and hold hands with some stranger, stand in line and give your own blood? Did you just stay home and cling tight to your family? Thank God you had somebody to love. Just a singer of simple songs, I'm not a real political man. I watch CNN, but I'm not sure I can tell you the difference in Iraq and Iran. But I know Jesus and I talk to God, and I remember this from when I was young. Faith, hope, and love are some good things He gave us. The greatest is love. The greatest is love. The greatest is love. Where were you when the world stopped turning on that September day?
There were so many Americans who leapt into action on September 11th in New York, on Flight 93, and not too far from here, at the nerve center of our national defense.
One of the heroes at the Pentagon that day was Lieutenant Colonel Patricia Horoho. To share her story, here is Academy Award-winning actress Melissa Leo.
My dad fought in World War II, Korea, Vietnam. I was born and raised at Fort Bragg. Even so, I think I shocked my whole family when I came home one day and said, "I'm joining the Army." I trained as a nurse in mass casualty response. And what I learned was that preparedness allows you to react when you need to. You don't think twice. You do what you have to do. In August 2001, I was assigned to the Pentagon, working on health policy. September 11th was a perfect fall day. While I was walking down one of those endless Pentagon corridors, I can't really explain it, but sometimes I get these instincts that feel like divine guidance. I've learned to trust them. This voice inside my head kept saying, "Don't go down that hallway." Then I heard someone yell, "The World Trade Center's been hit." I turned into an office where people were watching the plane strike the South Tower. My instincts kicked in again. I said it out loud. There's going to be a series of attacks. We're next. A few minutes later, the whole building just shook. A strange kind of calm came over me, like time just stopped. I ran straight to the impact site. Smoke was billowing out of this gaping hole in the building. The ground was burning hot. Plane debris was everywhere, jagged pieces of glass and smoldering metal. People were trying to find their way out of the darkness and the fire, breaking windows, trying to escape in any way possible. At that point, we had no supplies. Then an aid bag appeared, IVs, needles, gloves, tubes for intubation. A one-star general came up to me and said, "What do you need?" I said, "Your belt for a tourniquet." We were doing battlefield triage on the grounds of the Pentagon. It wasn't easy trying to create order in the middle of chaos. Ambulances started arriving, the fire department, urban search and rescue, the FBI. By the time all air traffic was grounded, we'd gotten a host of severely burned patients out by airlift with a fighting chance to survive. This is what war feels like, I thought. We're at war. This is what my dad lived through. The stench of jet fuel was overpowering, but people never stopped going back inside the building to find survivors. Everybody pitched in. By nightfall, it had turned into a recovery operation. We knew there wouldn't be any more coming out alive. That was a hard moment. Through the smoke, I could see the firemen unfurling the flag on the roof of the Pentagon, and that sight drove home for me that the words United States of America weren't just words. We were united in our resolve because everyone came together on 9/11. When the list of casualties was printed, I just kept praying, "Please, God, don't let me know anybody." And then, among the names, I saw my office mates, Major Ron Milam and Sergeant Major Lacey Ivory, and my colleague, Lieutenant Colonel Karen Wagner. We lost 184 lives at the Pentagon. But one life touches so many others. No one thought it would be their last day. Their wives and husbands thought they'd be coming back home. Their children thought they'd be coming back home. But they never did. Our enemies underestimated us. They saw us divided and they thought they could take advantage. But the terrible cruelty they brought down united us in ways they could never understand. As we get closer to the 25th anniversary of 9/11, I feel this ache in my heart that people have already begun to forget. Memorial Day is our shared bond. It's our nation coming together to remember those who perished and to show our gratitude for those who stepped up and gave their all. There is power in that memory. As we honor their sacrifice tonight, every one of us must ask, how do we serve? When I saw our flag waving through all that smoke and flames, I saw threads of courage. I saw threads of sacrifice. I saw threads that bind the history of our nation. A legacy of service, of duty, of unity. That's what I saw that day. And that's what I still see.
There were so many heroes that day, military and civilians, first responders, a community of Americans coming together to do whatever was needed to help and then begin to heal.
And just as we will never forget the horrors of that day, we will always remember the actions and goodwill in the days, the weeks, the months, and even the years that followed. Please rise and join us in thanking and honoring those who answered the call in New York, the Pentagon, and Shanksville, and who represent all those who did so across the nation.
Our nation remains strong 250 years after its founding, thanks to the countless heroes who made the ultimate sacrifice, their military families and the Gold Star families who will always love them.
He looked at me in a way I've never seen my son look at me, and he said, you know, Dad, I've got to go. My men are waiting on me. And I said, okay, you go, but you take care of those men and you bring them all home. He didn't come home alive, but the rest of those men made it home.
I hear the words, I regret to inform you. It's your worst nightmare.
It's surreal because you say it's 12, 13 years, but my mom heart says it was yesterday.
And you wonder what he's like. You just pray, and you know he can hear you, and he's right there with you all the time.
I had to bury my child. I ain't the same person no more. Never will be.
I never heard my daddy cry to that day. When I got that news, it just shook me to the core.
Daddy's gonna be God's soldier now. And he said, but I will miss him. And I said, I will miss him too, but we are never gonna forget him.
They paid the supreme price for our freedom, and it is for those heroes and their families that we now play Taps. With a song dedicated to all the heroes we've lost, please welcome back Marine Corps veteran Jamie Johnson.
I have seen my last tomorrow. I am holding my last breath. Goodbye, sweet world of sorrow. My new life begins with death. I am standing Take my hand, Lord, lead me home.
We all love Mike, and we honor his selfless service for this country every day. Memorial Day for them is probably the most important day of the year.
All my burdens are behind me. I have prayed my final prayer. Don't you cry over my body, 'cause that ain't me. Take my hand, Lord, lead me home.
The connections our heroes have with each other while in the service and afterwards remind us as civilians of our duty to support them and to lend a helping hand whenever we can. That means reaching out to America's Gold Star families, for they are the ones who, through the willingness of their loved ones to serve and sacrifice, have kept the dream of the United States of America alive. There are so many ways each of us can do something, and not just on Memorial Day, but every day of the year. On our website, you'll find links to organizations dedicated to helping veterans, Gold Star families, active duty military, and their families. And if you or someone you know is at risk, experiencing symptoms of emotional distress, or having thoughts of suicide, help is available. Please reach out and connect to care.
I serve for the next generation to have the same freedoms and liberties that I have been afforded throughout my lifetime.
It comes back to those three core values: honor, courage, and commitment.
We're there for our freedom. We're there to protect and serve. And it's just, that's the end goal for everybody, regardless of where they're coming from.
Why I serve really is to protect my home, to protect my family, to protect my community, and protect my way of life and our values here in the United States of America.
As is a tradition from the beginning of the National Memorial Day concert, we now salute all the men and women from every branch of our armed services. Please welcome our nation's top military advisors, the Joint Chiefs of Staff. And now, Maestro Jack Everly, our orchestra, and military choruses perform the Armed Forces Medley. Whether here or watching at home, if you are able, please stand when your service song is presented. United States Coast Guard. United States Space Force. United States Air Force. United States Navy. United States Marines. United States Army.
Privilege to introduce the Vice Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Christopher J. Mahoney.
And now, it is our honor to introduce the distinguished Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Please welcome General Dan Kane.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and I'd like to start with asking you to join me in a round of applause for Gary and Mary and all the performers and production teams that put this event on tonight. I am incredibly humbled and grateful to stand tonight alongside America's Joint Chiefs of Staff to honor the unbroken chain of service that stretches back 250 years, and the more than 1 million Americans who paid the ultimate sacrifice for our nation and our freedoms. To us, they are brothers and sisters, names like Gilbert, Zerby, Brown, Harvell, Zembic, Nick, and Czech, who we were honored to fight alongside. Tonight, we pay special tribute to the 14 Americans who lost their lives during Operation Epic Fury. To the families they left behind, there will always be an empty chair at the dinner table, and we will always remember them. The tributes tonight to the patriots of the Revolution, to the heroes who mobilized after Pearl Harbor, and to those who ran into burning buildings on 9/11 and responded after, we remember, and those standing behind me were there. Remember us for that 250 years that America's armed forces and our first responders have always stood up, and when asked the question, who will go, they have always said, send me. Sacrificing themselves so that others may live. Let us strive to live a life worthy of their incredible sacrifice. Let us forever honor their gift of a perfect American example. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the 2.8 million men and women who proudly serve today, let us remember those currently deployed right now as we're here on this incredible evening celebrating our country. And let us always, always, always remember our fallen, their names, and their families who show us what real courage, grit, and tenacity and the American spirit really look like. God bless America, and may God bless our joint force. And happy 250th birthday, America. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on our 37th annual National Memorial Day Concert. The concert will repeat immediately following this live broadcast on most PBS stations.
And now it's time for our finale. Please take out your phones, turn the flashlight on, and hold them high for all our heroes. And join in as Mickey Guyton and our cast perform God Bless America.
And guide her through the night. is featured tonight and learn more about helping veterans and military families, visit our website at pbs.org/Memorial Day Concert or join the conversation on social media. The National Memorial Day Concert is made possible by Lockheed Martin.
For more than 2 centuries, brave Americans have served our country, protecting what matters most. Every day we are inspired by those who gave their all, making the ultimate sacrifice. This Memorial Day, we pay tribute to their courage and unwavering commitment to our country. At Lockheed Martin, we honor all those who made our future possible and keep us safe today.
And by
the Horatio Alger Association of Distinguished Americans honors all who serve, including 236 of its esteemed members. Since 1947, the Horatio Alger Award has been presented to outstanding Americans who embody the American dream, built on hard work, perseverance, and success. Through them, the association has awarded $275 million in scholarships to enable 38,000 youth to pursue their American dream through higher education.
And by the National Park Service, Department of the Army, General Dynamics, and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
You're watching PBS.
Thursday evening at 8 on Ozarks Public Television.
Hi, I'm Sue Robinson, Community Support Director for OPT. After losing federal funding, OPT is facing an annual budget gap. To protect the programs you rely on, we've launched the Ozark Public Broadcasting Bridge Fund, an effort focused on long-term solutions through major and multi-year gifts. Membership remains at the heart of OPT, and for those who can do more, the Bridge Fund helps secure the future of public media in the Ozarks. Visit optv.org/bridge to learn more.
They warm and excite us, 'cause we have the bride of March in my
Ozarks Public Television is pleased to recognize Ambassadors for Children supporting kids in foster care in Greene, Christian, and Taney counties by providing new clothes, shoes, and other essentials. Information at ccozarks.org.
The road is not just concrete and rock. It's made of real flesh and blood, and all the people that actually are part of this.
There's nothing like it, period. There were so many people that made their living along the way. In a hamburger shop, a gas station, a garage, a motel, and they built it from the ground up.
It's beautiful. It's just beautiful. It shows you what a wild and beautiful and diverse land we live in.
Each year, lots of good people turn things they don't really want into more of what they really love. Donate your unwanted vehicle to public television. You'll earn a tax deduction, we'll take care of pickup, and everyone in the community will benefit from your generosity. Contact our vehicle donation program.
Beep, 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 yeah.
On American Experience, the man behind the myth.
I don't think anybody absolutely knows Ronald Reagan.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Reagan on American Experience.
You're watching Ozarks Public Television.
Live from the United States Capitol, it's the 37th Annual National Memorial Day Concert. And now, here are tonight's hosts, Tony Award nominee Mary McCormick and Emmy Award winner Gary Sinise.
Tonight, the National Memorial Day Concert is dedicated to all who have served and sacrificed since the dawn of our nation 250 years ago.
And now, please rise, in body or in spirit, for our national anthem, performed by Grammy Award nominee Mickey Guyton.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets strengthened the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there, still there. Oh, saved us as stars spangled banner yet waved o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And now, welcome to the 37th Annual National Memorial Day Concert. Tonight's special guests are Emmy and Golden Globe winning actor Noah Wyle, Academy Award winner Melissa Leo, platinum selling recording artist Andy Grammer, multiple CMA Award winner Jamie Johnson, 6-time Emmy nominee Jonathan Banks, 2-time Tony Award nominee Broadway star Laura Osnes, multiple Grammy Award nominee Blessing Offor, Academy of Country Music nominee Mickey Guyton, with a special performance by country icon Alan Jackson, featuring the National Symphony Orchestra conducted by Maestro Jack Everly, and General Dan Kane, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the U.S. Army Herald Trumpets, the U.S. Army Old Guard Fife and Drum Corps, the U.S. Army Chorus, the Soldiers Chorus of the U.S. Army Field Band, the U.S. Navy Band Sea Chanters, the U.S. Air Force Singing Sergeants, the Armed Forces Color Guard and Service Color Teams, and Patrick Lundy and the Ministers of Music. The National Memorial Day Concert is made possible by Lockheed Martin.
For more than 2 centuries, brave Americans have served our country, protecting what matters most. Every day we are inspired by those who gave their all, making the ultimate sacrifice. This Memorial Day, we pay tribute to their courage and unwavering commitment to our country. At Lockheed Martin, we honor all those who made our future possible and keep us safe today.
And by
the Horatio Alger Association of Distinguished Americans honors all who serve, including 236 of its esteemed members. Since 1947, the Horatio Alger Award has been presented to outstanding Americans who embody the American dream, built on hard work, perseverance, and success. Through them, the association has awarded $275 million in scholarships to enable 38,000 youth to pursue their American dream through higher education.
And by the National Park Service, Department of the Army, General Dynamics, and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you. Please welcome back our hosts, Mary McCormick and Gary Sinise.
Welcome to the 2026 National Memorial Day Concert, an event that has been so appropriately called America's memorial service for the nation, a way to honor all our heroes and America's Gold Star families. As longtime viewers of this concert know, Joe Mantegna and I traditionally co-host together. Although Joe is unable to be with us this year, my co-host this evening is my friend, a proud daughter of a U.S. Marine, Mary McCormick. Mary, welcome.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you. This year's concert has a special meaning for all Americans. For tonight, we remember the many challenges our nation has overcome in its 250-year history. From the Minutemen who faced those first gunshots at Lexington and Concord that started us on our path to independence, to those serving around the world today in harm's way, every generation has unselfishly answered the call.
We cannot ever truly repay the debt we owe these warriors. They have made us a great nation. So please join us in tribute to all who have served, are currently in uniform, and all those about to enter our armed forces. Let's show them all our appreciation.
And tonight, as we remember the fallen, we also pay tribute to our wounded, ill, and injured warriors here with us from Port Belvoir Hospital and Walter Reed National Military Medical Center.
Please join us in showing our appreciation for all these American heroes.
In addition to our musical performances and stories, throughout this concert, we'll also be hearing from active duty heroes sharing why they serve.
With a song dedicated to all the service members and their families in our nation's history who have never given up on America, never given up on each other, and speaks to how we will never give up on them, here is award-winning artist Andy Grammer.
I will fight. I will fight for you. I always do until my heart is black and blue. And I will stay. I will stay with you. We'll make it to the other side like lovers do. And I'll reach my hands out in the dark and wait for yours to enter like I wait for you. I'll wait for you. 'Cause I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up, no, not yet. fight for you. I always do until my heart is black and blue. Thank you to all the troops and all the veterans. I love you.
Our founding fathers were optimistic. I mean, they had a dream and they believed that something like the United States of America was possible. And thinking about those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice and those who have gone before us, freedom is not free. And it takes all of us here in the United States to pitch in order to keep our way of life.
United States Army Fife and Drum Corps. On the evening of March 5th, 1770, tensions in Boston over oppressive taxation and military occupation exploded into what came to be known as the Boston Massacre.
Over the next 5 years, the taxes and restrictions imposed by the British Crown on American liberty became unbearable. Then, on the morning of April 19, 1775, shots fired on the Commons of Lexington, Massachusetts began what has been called the most influential revolution in world history.
On July 2nd, 1776, the Continental Congress declared that all ties between America and England should be permanently dissolved. 2 days later, the Declaration of Independence was proclaimed in Philadelphia. From the beginning, the fate of the new nation was by no means a foregone conclusion. The odds were stacked against us, yet ordinary men and women proved willing to risk their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor for a powerful idea that shaped our identity.
Few people, said newly appointed Continental Army Commander George Washington, know the predicament we are in. The fate of unborn millions will now depend under God on the courage and conduct of this army.
One soldier, 17-year-old Joseph Plum Martin of Connecticut Militia, left an unforgettable record of those devastating 8 years of war.
Here to tell his story is Emmy-winning actor Noah Wiley.
I was 15 when I heard about Lexington and Concord. Wanted to sign up right then, but my grandsire forbade it. If you don't let me join, I told him, I'll run away and become a privateer instead. That changed his mind quick. In June 1776, I was bound for New York to serve under General Washington. I was what I always longed to be, a soldier. All I desired was